Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy New Year. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. I'm just going to wait for people to join me because I have a great topic for all of you. And for those who do not know me, my name is Odunlami. I am an immigration attorney in New Jersey. That's where my physical office is. But we serve clients in all 50 states and even abroad if you're intending to immigrate into the United States. So Happy New Year to all of you. And I hope you guys had a great festive season. I sure did. I went to the homeland. I went to Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. And it was fun, fun, fun. I went with my husband, went with my children. And it was actually fun it was fun watching the children's experience. We've taken them to Nigeria many times, but they were young, and I think the last time we went was in 2019. It was nice to see them basically coming into their own as a young adults. My oldest is 20, and begin to form their own impressions of Nigeria, of Lagos, because that's where we were. And my second daughter, who's 18, said, Mom, Lagos definitely has a vibe. I said, yes, it definitely has a vibe. We had so much fun. We ate a lot and the kids partied a lot. I kind of took it easy on the party because I was tired. It was a long year. It was, we did a lot of work and I was just looking to just eat and relax, which was what I did. But it was so beautiful to get back in touch with my homeland, my family, my friends, get to discover the new things in Lagos, the new foods. I was eating a lot and, I was kind of worried I was going to put on a lot of weight, but I don't know what it is. When you eat food, at home, it's like you come back and you don't gain any weight, but you ate because I was eating amala every day. So, anyways, I have a great topic for you guys. Happy New Year for all of you joining me. Thank you for joining me. And let me introduce myself again. My name is Odunlami. I'm an immigration attorney from the Odunlami law firm in Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. We serve clients from all 50 states. Our phone number, if you want to call us for consultation, is 973-993-1900. And I'm sorry that I'm a little nasal because I got sick on the last day, and I'm still a little sick and I kind of feel a little out of sorts, but I wanted to get this come in and say Happy New Year to all of you and talk about this really important topic. Basically, what I want to talk about today is New Year resolutions for intending immigrants. If you have an immigration case, you intend to have an immigration case, I want to talk about the things that you need to watch out for so that you can optimize your chance of success, okay? So when you join in, please say, come in, tell me you're here, say hello. I love to see, I love to read your comments. And when I'm done, I'll answer a couple of questions, and that'll be it for today. All right, so last year we did a lot of great work. So proud of my team. They worked hard. We all worked hard, and we got fantastic results. And we intend to do that and even more this year. So this New Year resolutions that I've crafted on behalf of my intending immigrants is to help you so that we can. It's for you to know so that it makes it easier for us to help you. There's certain mistakes that we don't want you making. Thank you for joining us. There's certain mistakes you shouldn't be making because it complicates your case. So I'm going to go through some of them, right? And some of these mistakes, I have seen it through people coming for consultations and telling me what happened, what they did. And for other people, it's just, us hearing through the, attorney mill, what other attorneys have been seeing and experiencing. So let's dive into it. So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is to stay informed about policy changes, right? How do you do this? Well, sign up with a reputable news source. Go to USCIS, right? Sign up with the updates. Follow social media, reputable attorneys, okay, that you know have a proven track record of giving uh, 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 the correct information. And you also want, if you need an immigration attorney, you want to also be able to get an immigration attorney that you trust will do the work right. So you need to, not just to do the work right, but has time that will respond to your questions, that will communicate with you once you become a client. Because the biggest complaints that attorneys, that people have about attorneys is that they're not hearing from the office. Now, that does not happen in our office because we constantly communicate with our clients about new things happening in their cases, updates, and all that. So you want to make sure that you have an attorney or an attorney, the law firm, because sometimes it's not the attorney calling you, it's somebody from their firm. But you want to make sure that when you call, that they respond to your calls. You want to make sure that when you ask questions, that somebody responds to it. It is unacceptable to have an attorney who ignores you. And this is what I hear from a lot of people when they come for consultation. They have an attorney, but they haven't spoken to, nobody in the law firm has spoken to them for months. They don't know what's going on with their case. They have no paperwork, nothing. That's not the way it's supposed to be. If you have an attorney, that firm should communicate with you about what's going on in your case. That firm should give you a copy of your paperwork once it's submitted. So you want to make sure that you have a firm that is also up to date with policy changes, okay? So that's what I said. You got to follow up with the policy changes because immigration is one area that the laws change a lot, okay? So let's go to number 2. Number 2 is kind of related to number 1, and that is not seeking professional guidance, right? I'm going to talk about this a little bit because this is really important. I get people who come to the firm for consultation, and they tell me that somebody filed their paperwork. They thought the person was an attorney, and later on they found the person wasn't an attorney. Now, it's your responsibility to make sure that whoever you're talking to is an attorney, a legitimate immigration attorney, licensed in whatever state that they're supposed to be licensed in. You need to make sure, and that's not difficult to find out. You can do that online because every attorney is required to be registered. Another thing people do is they tend to either try to do the work themselves, which honestly blows my mind because immigration is so complex. It may not look that way because people think it's a bunch of forms, but trust me, I'm constantly, me and my fellow attorneys, we're constantly going on conferences to update ourselves with new information. We're constantly buying books this big. We're constantly reading policy manuals to stay up to date. So how are you going to give your case to a notario or a paralegal who doesn't know what any of this means? They can fill out the forms, but they don't understand how certain things may make it difficult for you to get what you want because of the context of your case. Anybody can fill out a form, but what you want to know is you want to make sure that you should be filling out that form and how you should be answering certain questions and whether or not you need other stuff, like do you need a waiver in addition to that form? And has the law changed that requires you to do something different? So if you go with somebody who's filling forms and you get in trouble because you put the wrong information or you didn't fill it out properly, you're screwed. Now, if you use an attorney and for some reason the attorney does a bad job and you get yourself into a lot of trouble, there are motions, especially if you're in deportation proceedings, there are motions that can be filed on your behalf showing that you didn't have a good attorney and that's why you're in this position, and that can help cure the problem. If you're not with if you didn't have an attorney prepare your forms for you or prepare your package for you, that's not a relief that's available to you. So in 2024, you guys, we need to be serious and intentional about making sure that we're doing immigration right. You really want to put yourself in the best position for success. And the way to do that is to hire an experienced lawyer. And now remember, all lawyers don't do the same thing. There are lawyers who are experienced in employment immigration. There are lawyers who are experienced in VAWA. There are lawyers who are experienced in, humanitarian, or you want to be with a lawyer that's experienced in the area of law that you're looking for, okay? That you're seeking a relief for, And then another thing I want to tell you is you want to be careful the lawyer you hire. So we've gone through basically hire a lawyer, right? Now I'm going to the next level, which is hire the right lawyer. I did a consultation a couple of weeks ago, and this person came in because he had been denied and he wanted us to assist him. And I reviewed the denial and I was surprised that the case was denied because you sometimes you can read in between the lines when USCIS is typically when they really just want to deny your case but don't have a good reason, right? You can read when it's just, they're just throwing things out there. And that's why it seemed to me to be like, so I said, well, I'm really surprised they denied you based on this because, I think, your case seemed decent. And so he said that when they had gone for the interview, him and his wife, was a marriage case, that the officer said, well, we know the attorney that prepared your form, and he's an attorney that is known for filing sham cases, filing sham marriages, filing frivolous asylum petitions. And so basically what happened is because that officer knew that lawyer to be somebody who filed frivolous cases, they assumed that this man's case with his wife was a sham marriage because of that lawyer. And I'm not saying that this is happening for everybody, but really think about it. If you're with a lawyer who is known to have questionable legal ethics, that's not helpful for you. And the thing that immigration officials don't understand is a lot of immigrants come into the country, right? They don't know anybody. Maybe they know a family friend, a relative here, and that relative says, hey, use this lawyer. I know somebody who used him and they got their case. And typically, it would be disrespectful to tell that person who is trying to help you, fit into your new environment, to tell them, I'm not going to use the person that you recommended, So typically, intending immigrants who have just come into the country fall into the loop of just basically following what whoever it is, the advisor, whoever it is that they know is telling them to do. And so USCIS doesn't realize that that's really what immigrants do. They're not there trying to hire sham attorneys. It just happens a lot of times that they go with who somebody recommended, right? And so, but I'm telling you today, 2024 is the year that you're going to say, I know better because I listened to Attorney Odunlami, and she said, don't go with people that you were referred by without doing your own background search. Go and check them out. Make sure that they're licensed attorneys. Make sure they don't have any, they've not been disbarred or suspended or have any, questionable mark on their character, right? And then have a consultation with them, because in that consultation, you'll figure out whether this is the person you want to handle this really important case, right? I tell people that a consultation works both ways. It lets the attorney know what your case is about, and they can tell you what, if they can assist you. But it also helps you, the intending immigrant, decide whether this is the person that you want to handle your case, because every attorney is not suited to every client. So you have to find the person that you feel is, I guess, the yin to your yang, that's, your spirit is connecting with them, either because of the way they handle the consultation. So spend that money and pay the consultation fee, because your case is too important for you to just just, randomly just, pick somebody that you don't know or you don't really care about, Okay, so that's the second advice. Guys, oof, I feel like my head feels like it's twice the size. But I'm gonna keep on going. So the second advice that I've talked about is seeking adequate professional guidance. All right. Okay. So number three. Number three. Please, in 2024, let's not do fake divorces anymore. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this. We have people who they come into the United States. Maybe this is one scenario. They come here, they are married to somebody back home. They meet another person here and they decide they want to get divorced. And then they call somebody back in their home country and ask the person to help them find somebody to file a divorce for them. And that person doesn't do it properly, but they get a divorce decree, and then they marry the US citizen. Then the US citizen files for them, the case goes on, and at the last minute, when everything should be wrapped up, USCIS issues a denial saying that the marriage to the US citizen is void, which is not recognized as legal because the divorce in the prior marriage was not properly done. That is so frustrating, especially for VAWA clients, Violence Against Women's Act, because a lot of times you don't get to redo. Like if you're in a marriage with somebody, a US citizen, you can file the divorce properly and then remarry your spouse, right? But if you're in a VAWA position where your spouse is abusive, you don't get to remarry the person who's abusing you because that's typically not how it works. You're in a position of that where you have no power. So the thing to do is, if you're here in the United States, file your divorce from here in the United States. It doesn't matter if the defendant is not in the country. You can file your divorce here, divorce them in your home country, and then you have an American divorce, which USCIS will not question. And for those who were divorced in their country, I'm going to ask you to authenticate that divorce before you get married to a US citizen or green card holder. Because even if you get a chance to remarry your spouse, you're probably going to need a waiver, because if your divorce was fake, it means that you presented USCIS with a fake legal document, which creates an inadmissibility. And an inadmissibility, which it creates a situation where you cannot get your green card without being forgiven for that inadmissibility. And sometimes waivers are hard to come by. They're hard to get. So in this case is where and there's some countries, I'm not going to mention those countries, but they know themselves that they have so many fake divorces that USCIS pretty much just does not believe any documents that come from those countries. I'm kidding. I don't kid you about this. Because we have some clients who we know their divorce is real, but USCIS basically is like, well, there's a little error in the order, therefore it's fake. Because the client will say, well, I was there, I appeared in court, and I know it's real. But we have to fight and struggle to get them to accept that divorce. And that just leads to expenses for the client, right? And even anxiety for them, because you don't know where the case is going. So before you get married to a US citizen or green card holder, do your due diligence on your prior divorce or divorces. Make sure it is properly done. Make sure it's real before you marry somebody here, because it's easier to do it properly and then marry that person than have to get denied, then remarry, and then you're in a position where you're looking to file a waiver, which is a whole different kettle of fish, okay? All right? So in 2024, we're not doing fake divorces anymore, okay? All right? No more. It's so frustrating because as an attorney, we work so hard on your cases. Then we win, especially the VAWA cases. Then we win the VAWA. VAWA is approved. And then we get an RFE for the divorce decree for it to be authenticated because they realized at some point that the divorce decree was not real. And that just basically blows the whole case. And you wait for so long to get your cases approved. Do it right, okay? Go back home to your country and make sure it's a proper divorce, all right? All right, so the fourth thing, the fourth thing that I want to talk about today that we need to do in 2024 are those who are filing to naturalize. This is your year. It's going to, naturalizations in election years, move fast and move quickly because it's an election year. They're looking to get more people who can vote. So they're looking to get you naturalized before November. So this is a good time to file your paperwork because I know that they're moving those naturalization applications to get US citizens that can vote in a democratic election, okay? So don't tarry. This is a time to do it, okay? And then, number 5, if you are in immigration proceedings, this is the time to see if you can request prosecutorial discretion and get your deportation case dismissed. And, you know, a few years ago during the Trump administration, there was laws that basically took prosecutorial discretion off the table. Then it got back on the table in 2023. And my office, we were really successful in getting a lot of cases in people in deportation proceedings, getting their cases dismissed. And in the new year, this is something you should prioritize because come November election, we don't know who the new president is going to be. And any president has a huge discretion over immigration laws, right? So this is not something that you want to kind of just, just wait on and see whether, if you're going to do it. This is a time, to get your immigration petitions moving, all right? Because you really want to be grandfathered into this law that is existing right now before a new president, we don't know who that's going to be, or a new law comes in place, all right? So now, the 6th thing that I'm going to discuss that we need to do better in 2024 is be aware of deadlines. So you get an RFE, which will give you a deadline, or NOID, which is notice of intent to deny, or any of those documents from USCIS that have a short time to respond. Don't wait until a week before and then go to an attorney. You do yourself a great disservice because attorneys need time to prepare your case, right? And the attorney that you want may not be available at that short, that time, the time that you're reaching out to them. Because in my office, if we can't make that deadline because we have a lot of cases that have a deadline, we're not going to be able to take your case. So once you get a letter from USCIS that has a deadline, you need to get an attorney right away. Give that attorney a chance to work magic on your case by being able to do proper research, go back and forth, do whatever needs to be done. Like NOIDs and a lot of NOIDs have only 30 days, so you really want, as soon as you get it, you really want to be hiring an attorney right away, all right? And then, what else? I think that's pretty much it. So I'm going to look through it to see if I can take a couple questions, but I'm not going to take a lot of questions because I'm really, really feeling sick. But see what I can do with you for you guys. Let's see. So Kay says, what could be the challenge with Lagos Embassy? They're giving IL to family category IR/CR, but not to EB category. Well, the thing is this, it depends on the priority date, it's not, and it depends on the dates, that how backed up they are with their interviews. So, every country really has, they're really, some of them are still recovering from COVID, believe it or not. And some categories are moving faster than the others. So I really can't tell you why Lagos is doing that. But, if, like I say to people, if your case is taking a long, long time, talk to an attorney and see if you may qualify to file a writ of mandamus. That's really the only way to get these cases moving, sue the government. So that's what you should do. Talk to an attorney. And Nicole says, my friend filed an N600, but he's in jail and has an order of deportation. So, Anne, we're going to need to get more information about that because I can't answer this when there's no question and we need more information. So call my office, schedule a consultation, 973-993-1900. And then James says, hey, James, Happy New Year. Nana says, I love your sincerity when it comes to marriage fraud when applying for green card. How long is work permit and advance parole taken as seen in your office? So Nana, marriage, work permit and advance parole in marriage cases, it's taken, it really depends. We've had work permits within 28 days. We've had it 7, 8, 9 months. I think for a lot of our cases, we're really getting those work permits and green cards really fast in the past year. And I think part of it is it helps when the case is properly packaged, right? And USCIS, you meet the burden of proof in terms of proving that it's a bona fide marriage. You submit the I-693 with it so that they're not sending an RFP on it. And you put a great paperwork together and you hope for the best. And depending on where your case is, I really will tell you it can take anywhere from 28 days to 10 months, because sometimes we don't even really have control over that. All you have control over is the ability to do a fantastic job, put a fantastic case together, and hope for the best, okay? Now, like I say, if there's an emergent reason for wanting your work permit or advanced parole, you can file an emergent application. Okay, this is a VAWA application. The VAWAs are taken, about, I'd say 5 to 10 months, but I'm finding that if it's a VAWA abeyance, it takes less time. So deadlines are all over the place, I think, like I said, the only thing we can control is putting our best foot forward. All right, so I'm going to answer one more question here, and then I'll go to Instagram. I was denied visa when I applied as a widow of a U.S. citizen and was refused a waiver. Is there hope? Emily, there's always hope. We've won really difficult cases. We've won cases where our clients were previously denied, and then they came to us, and we reviewed the case, and we came up with a new angle that maybe they hadn't thought of before, and it worked. So I can't tell you I can't tell you how much hope you should have without reviewing your case. Sometimes we think that the denial was in error, and we have case law to show that, or maybe the initial application was not properly presented. So if you want us to assist you, Emily, call my office, 973-993-1900. All right. I'm going to go to Instagram. Hey, Instagram people. How are you? So I'm going to go through real quick. See, Instagram is a little hard because I have to squint to read that. Hi, Mokaila. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to Calibriti. King's Lucia. Yeah, Lagos. Echo for sure. Welcome back from Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you. I had such a great time. Um, let's see. I'm looking through to see if I have any questions. Hey, Eze Jennifer. How are you? Hey, Cheryl. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Ife Oluwa says, no place like home. Indeed. No place like home. My kids went to watch Ashake in concert. Davido. They had so much fun. Yeah, Ajua said, because the food is fresh. That's why you don't gain weight even though you're eating all the time. Yep, because it's real food for real. Yeah, so let's scroll down. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me. So let me see if I can get a question because I'm going to sign off soon. Let's see. Okay. Ulemu says, very informative and thorough. We appreciate your welcome, as always. So Abiola says, I want to make an inquiry concerning the male of between 18 and 25 years to register. So I know you're talking about selective service. So selective service is for all males that don't have a valid non-immigrant visa. So if you're here on an F1 visa, you're not required to register for selective service. But there's a law that all males between 18 and 25, even if you're undocumented, you must register for selective service. So I don't know what the question is, but that's really what it is. Okay. So US Vin says, I'm a fit guy, and if I marry a fat girl, she's my girlfriend and she's a citizen, will my green card be approved? We have huge body differences, so I have doubt. So USA, Vin, I'm not really sure if this is trolling. So I don't really like that question because I think you're trolling. Huge body differences, just in case you're not, is not the basis for a petition. You know how to provide bona fides. All right. Good morning, Nifemi. Thank you for joining. I'm going through. Temisan says, please, what happens when you're married to a citizen officially but never put in papers for filing for the spouse and the citizen who's supposed to file for you dies? Temisan, you can still file, depending on a lot of, you can still file if your spouse dies. That's not an issue. So call my office. We can assist you with that. 973-993-1900. The issue is when the spouse died. So you have to file within a certain time. So call my office if you want us to assist you. Nkechi Delum says, how do I contact you? 973-993-1900. Let's see. So Nifemi says, Happy New Year. I have a question. Is there a problem if a lady married to a guy younger than her age? Nifemi, it's not a problem, right? I think it depends on the age difference. If a woman is married to a man who is younger than her, I haven't found that to be an issue. Now, what I do say is if it's a huge age difference, such as, 15, 20 years, it's not a problem, but it just means that you really have to present real, like, bona fides. So I always tell people, of course, a huge age difference in either sex is what we call a red flag. Now, a red flag doesn't mean that you won't get your green card. It just means that your case might warrant a scrutiny, which means they may just kind of look at it a little more. So if you have good bona fides, it doesn't matter the age difference, because we actually last year got a case approved without an interview where the age difference was really huge. But we had a lot of bona fides from when they were dating. Because we knew that the age difference was a red flag, we made sure that we presented USCIS with a lot of bona fides, proving that they really entered into the marriage because they loved each other and wanted to be with each other, and not just for immigration benefits. So I think what you should really be more concerned about is making sure that you have good evidence. Mr. GNI says, can an old person dependent on social can support for marriage green card? So I think what you're saying is, can somebody whose sole income is social security benefits file a marriage petition? Yes. If they're not making enough money, they would need a joint sponsor. All right. So let's go. I says, is it advisable to file for citizenship when you're waiting for 10 years green card? Note marriage is 5 years. So I'm trying to understand the question, but if you're eligible to file for citizenship, which could be 3 years if you're still with your spouse, or 5 years if you're no longer with your spouse, then you're eligible. However, there may be reasons for you not to file for naturalization, because just because you got a green card does not mean you're going to get naturalized, because sometimes USCIS may pick on something that they didn't pick up on when you got your green card. So it's always a good idea to have a consultation with an attorney and, go over your case to make sure that there are no red flags that could be a problem. All right. Mike says, can mistakenly filing taxes with the wrong form as an F1 student get you a denial on your green card application? Mike, I can't answer that question because I don't know what mistakenly means. I need to know more to be able to answer that question. All right. So T5 says, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you as well. He says, may this new year bring you joy, success, and all the best things life has to offer. I wish you the same. Wishing you a year filled with love, good health, and memorable moments. I wish you the same. Thank you. Happy New Year. So, Bookie Crown says, is it possible for a judge to change your individual hearing date? Yes, they can. They definitely have the discretion, but it depends on the judge. Individual hearing is a trial. So judges don't like to change those dates unless there's a really good reason for that. All right. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to... I gotta go now. So, but it was a pleasure talking to you all and chatting with you. And 2024 is a brand new year. My firm, my team, and I were excited for this year. We're looking forward to helping as many immigrants as we can. And so, give us a call if you need assistance. 973-993-1900. And don't forget, if you found this video to be of help to you, don't forget to like, share, and of course, follow us so that when I come back out, you are notified, okay? Thank you. Take care. Happy New Year.